Hi, my name is Amish Ratsa, and I am sort of an entrepreneur right now. Sort of because I have started the business, but it is yet to take off. So, sort of an entrepreneur, and I like to do designs. I like to create videos, and obviously, as we'll get to know, I like to ride bikes. I have a Bajaj Avenger 220 Street, late 2015 model. It is my first bike, and this is the bike that actually introduced me to long rides. And this is one of my first bikes, uh, first vehicles on which I went on a trip with myself, like alone, like solo trips, or with a couple of friends or something like that. So yeah, although it's not one of those powerful or flashy bikes out there in the market, maybe it's just at the entry level for long trips, but still it is very very special to me because first love kind of a thing. Most of my trips have been from Delhi to either Chandigarh or Dehradun, Mussoorie, sometimes Jaipur, and places like that. I have also ridden it down all the way from my hometown Balakhat, which is in central India, to via Hyderabad, Bangalore, and all the way to Coimbatore. And around Coimbatore, also I've gone to a few places like Ooty and Kunur and all these places. Uh, all of these trips, one of my very memorable trips was my trip to Shimla with a brother and a friend. So three of us went on three bikes. It was like a uh, what do you say? It was like a test ride for the other two guys because they were thinking of buying a RE at that time, Royal Enfield, and they wanted to see if it's a good bike which will suit them or not. So they rented two of the Royal Enfield Classic 350 bikes from Delhi, and I had my Avenger. And then we went from Delhi to Shimla and back to Delhi in 3 days' time. So it was 2 days of riding and one day of staying in Shimla. A month before this trip, I had gone to Dehradun on my bike. So, if you go from Delhi, the route to Dehradun and to Shimla, around 60% of it is common. It goes via Chandigarh. That NH1 route, it's just a straight highway. You hit sixth gear, fifth gear, whatever is the top gear on your bike, and you just let it roll. There is no stopping you after that. But what happened in this trip was, because we had not taken that route before, none of us had gone to Shimla before. So, and the Google Maps was kind of giving up on us, and somehow we missed one of the turns. And instead of taking a road which took us all the way around Chandigarh, there is a flyover actually which will just take you over Chandigarh. We took a road that took us into Chandigarh, and this was around 3:34 in the afternoon. And it was really really hell for us because we are all suited up on three bikes, and we hit the peak traffic of Chandigarh office hours, and we went through at least four traffic jams, constantly stopping at each place, not being able to move. And then our communicators that we had in our helmets died down, so we lost touch of each other. We could not even see because the traffic was so stagnant that if one of us got to move forward, the others could not follow, and we got separated. And it took us 1.5 hours to just go away from Chandigarh, and it was terrible experience. And we were like cursing ourselves, why are we doing this? But after we crossed Chandigarh, I think there is a place called Panchagunya or something like that. Panchakula, yes. There is a place called Panchakula. And after that, the roads became like really, really beautiful. We had those mountain roads, and then the traffic eased out a little bit, and then like flowing and going. And it was then it made all the sense why we were struggling there and all of those things. Yeah, I think any rider, if you ask them, they will say ghats are preferable. Like, not if you want to cover a lot of distances. Obviously, if you want to cover large distances, then you need flat, open roads, highways. But if you want to enjoy the process of riding, that constantly shifting gear, pulling out the clutch, and then you're leaning left, leaning right, ghat roads are where you should be riding. So what had happened was, because the other two bikes were rented, you know how these rented bikes are, they're not really in the best of conditions, not great shape. What happened was, one of the guys, his bike was not functioning well, so it slipped actually when we were on the way to Shimla on the first day, and he fell down. And it was a really scary moment, because there was a lot of construction going on the road, and it had been raining for a couple of hours before we entered that, so it was all muddy and slushy, and there is a lot of traffic there because of the construction. It was stop and go traffic in that section, and he fell down, and there was a truck right behind him, this huge truck. Fortunately, because the traffic was not going at a very fast speed, that truck did not run into him or whatever. Yeah, luck played a part, but it really reminded us that these roads are not to be taken lightly. They're very, very risky. So if any one of you is riding out there, I would just say, don't listen to music, don't get lost, don't zone out. Be aware of everything that you're doing. You may be riding well, there may be others who are not riding well, so you have to take that also into consideration. If that day he was not wearing the protective gear, he would have really hurt himself, but because he had the shoulder pads inside the jacket and because he had good gloves, I think it really saved him. Otherwise he would have really hurt himself, and then he would not have been able to complete the remaining journey. Actually, I don't really have a dream bike. Maybe a few that I would like to own. A few seems rich, but yeah, okay. A couple at least that I would like to own. Ducati Diavel is my favorite. Then I would like to own a Triumph sometime. I know it does not suit my personality and my height and my weight, but maybe some smaller version of it. I would really like a Kawasaki Versys, that is especially for Indian roads. That is something that I would really like to have in the future, in the near future, maybe 5 years, 10 years down the lane. As far as roads are concerned, I have had this dream since I was studying in France in 2011 or so, that I want to do a Euro trip. I want to go all the way, start from London, then go via Paris, and then cover the Eastern European countries, then go down south to Italy, and then come back to Spain, then France again, and then go back to London. So that entire trip, 6,500 kilometers or so, I want to do it on a bike. May not be in one single trip, but broken over maybe 3, 4, 5 trips over 5 years or whatever. But there are so many beautiful places in Europe, and the roads are very nice and less population, so you really get to experience free-flowing rides. So that is something I would like to do. It is expensive, yes, and it is very cumbersome in the sense that you have to apply for different licenses, different documentations. You can't take your own bike, you have to rent a bike there, and again it's expensive that as well. So there are so many things, but yeah, it's a dream, and that is something I would like to work towards. In India, this biking culture has just picked up over the last 5 years or so. When I got my bike, motovlogging was not really that large content creation section in Indian YouTube as it is right now. There are so many motovloggers you see, and everyone wants to just put on a helmet and put on a camera on top of it and just record stuff. All that is great, but what it leads to is because the kind of platform we live in, that YouTube or Facebook or whatever, you think that people should watch your video, and then the process of riding becomes about convincing people to watch your video. So you end up doing silly things, maybe which you would not have done otherwise. Maybe on rides or something, you try to create clickbaits. You won't believe what happened next kind of videos, So don't do that. There is nothing wrong with shooting yourself or filming yourself and all of those things, but the point of it should not be for people to for you to show it to people. That should not be at the back of your mind ki, oh, people see this and they're like, no, you should be doing it because you like it. So fall in love with biking, don't fall in love with the idea of biking. The difference is you are doing that because you like to do that and not because you think people like you for doing it. So that is the difference. Have fun while riding, be safe again, like I said, take precautions, take good care of your bike, that is very essential. Regular maintenance, regular cleaning. At the end of the day, it's also a machine, and if you take care of it, it'll take care of you. Small mistakes like a failed brake or a gear that didn't fall in place or a clutch that got choked can lead you, especially in ghat roads, to a very dangerous situation. So don't give the bike that chance. Keep it in good condition and take care. That's all. बस वही है और कुछ नहीं है. बाकी तो बस राही हैं और रास्ते हैं.